What?
Before we begin our next run of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy, I'd like to talk a little bit about our charity, Young Minds, for we are supporting them. They are a charity leading the fight for a future where all young minds are supported and empowered, whatever the challenges. Your donations help them to make sure young people get the best possible mental health support and have the resilience to overcome life's difficulties. We'd like to thank you for any and all donations. Just as a reminder, 75% of all proceeds go to them, 25% to us. Now, without any further ado, let's pass it over to CDRomatron with Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy.
Right, hello ladies and gentlemen, I am CDRomatron, also known as Mike, and I'm just about ready to get started. Are we ready on time? Yeah. Okay, we'll do a countdown, 3 and go. Right, so 3, 2, 1, go! Right, so hello ladies and gentlemen. As I said, my name is Mike and welcome to Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy. This is the Obelisk Blue Run. So, I don't know if many people here actually watched Yu-Gi-Oh! GX as a kid. This was a fantastic anime. In retrospect, it was rubbish. But I mean, the nostalgia's there, and that's all that matters. So this actually plays along the first season of the show, which I think is all anyone actually watched, because no one remembers what happened past there. I think there was something about Jaden turning evil, and then these weird shadow duels, but we're not going to bother about any of that. This is like first 14 episodes, and that's about it. So Cyrus is talking to us, and we actually need to do one of these tutorials. So, number 5. Okay, we're just going to skip through this. We don't actually care what it says. So, in this game, we don't actually play as Jaden, the main character. Instead, we play as this faceless OC, which all you do is name and build a deck for. And you can go about, and you can meet the people, you can meet Jaden, you can meet Cyrus, you can meet Chumley, you can meet a bunch of people. All we're going to do is just beat the crap out of Cyrus about 10 times, take an exam, and then beat the crap out of Chaz. So, that will be the adventure. So, we are doing a tutorial right now. The purpose for that is we need to buy a few packs from the shop. As there's a lot of really good spell cards in this game that will be able to win us a lot of games consistently. However, the prerequisite to unlocking the pack of spell cards we need is to view the spell tutorial. So if any of you guys remember like episode 3, this is when Alexis just asks, well, what does a field spell do? And then we get into trouble for just chatting a bunch. Yeah, we're not going to read any of this dialogue, sorry if you wanted to reminisce about the good old days, but unfortunately that's not what we're here for today. What does Pot of Greed do? Good question. Pot of Greed allows you to draw 2 cards from your deck. We're not going to be using it, but our opponents will be. I'll be sure to remind you when it happens. I think it's like episode 3. Maybe it's episode 2. I know, it's been forever since I've actually watched the show. But yeah, this starts off with about like 4 minutes of skipping through. We actually should be just about there by now. We're going to do a save as soon as we get through here. So we start off the game with 3,000 money, which is just about enough to do what we actually need to do. So here's the shop. We can't do any shopping right now, but that's kind of fine. So with 3,000, what we're going to do is we're going to save the game before we buy the packs. We're going to buy as many packs as we can afford, because we'll need to buy packs once. Okay, let's go into our PDA. What we're going to do first is change our settings, animations to fast, simple battle on, and dual direction off. Save the game just to be safe, in case we don't get the cards we need. Head over to the shop. Shop, okay, nice. So we want Spell Collection 1, 22 packs. Okay, we probably got what we need. Let's just hope we did. So now we're going to go to our dorm and build our deck. So I'm actually going to be concentrating a bit for here to make sure we can do what we need to do. So deck mode, we're going to build a new deck. Level 4 cards. We're going to sort these by attack position, and we're just going to take all the stronger ones. I'll explain a lot of what these cards do when we're actually doing the duels. Just going to go through and add plenty of these. I do have a set deck that I go by, so just make sure we get everything that we need. We are now looking for a copy of Inferno, which is 1,100. There it is. And we also want a copy of Copycat, which should be near the bottom. There we go. I'll explain the reasoning for those when we get to the duels. So this is why we bought those spell cards, is we should have enough of the good spells to be able to win us every single duel in the game that we need to do. So we're going to take Fisher, we are going to take Tribute of the Doomed, we're going to take 2 copies of Upstart. So if it's flashing green, that means that we can only have 2 copies, and if it's flashing... I know, we don't actually use any of the cards. One of them means that the card is outright banned, and one of them means... I think that's all we need. Okay, good. We got all the cards we need. Nice. Let's go and find Cyrus. So there was only 2 types of cards we were putting in our deck. There were monster cards and there were spell cards. I'll explain Yu-Gi-Oh! Briefly, in case you haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh! Before. So what happens is, once per turn, we will go through all of those phases that you see on the left. So it starts off the draw phase, followed by standby phase, followed by main phase 1, battle phase, main phase 2, and then end phase. Draw phase is just where we draw a card. Standby phase is only effects. Main phase 1 is where we can play our spell cards and summon 1 monster per turn. Battle phase is when we can do our combat, and end phase is when it just passes over to the opponent. So we're essentially summoning 1 monster per turn. He has 800 and a defense with Smashing Ground. So we've slightly stacked our deck by just having a bunch of really strong monsters and a bunch of very efficient removal cards for spell and traps, as well as hard monsters to remove. So for example, the 2 monsters we have out right now, one has 1850 attack and one has 1900, which is absurdly high regarding how strong the cards the opponent's playing. So we're just going to focus on flooding the board as soon as possible. You start the game with 8000 life, and the idea is you can only attack the opponent's life score as soon as they have no monsters remaining. And the aim is to bring the opponent down from 8000 to 0, which, as you can see, we are doing rather quickly. So similar to the idea of this being a school, there's actually an exam we need to sit. So there are 3 different dorms in this game. There is the Slifer Red dorm, which you start in. There is the Ra Yellow dorm, which you move into once you've surpassed Slifer Red dorm. And then finally the Obelisk Blue dorm, which is the highest one in the game. And the whole aim of the run is to get there as soon as possible, which we can do with the help of an event. So yeah, there's the first duel all the way out of the way. We're going to be dueling Cyrus 10 times here, because you need 10 duels, well, you need 10 victories under your belt to actually be considered good enough to move up the ranks when you take the exam. So even if you pass the exam, you still wouldn't be able to rank up if you didn't do 10 duels. So there's the first one. I need to remember how many I'm due. I don't have my splits here, so let's just keep track of that. So yeah, so we will essentially be dueling Cyrus, winning 10 battles, and then as soon as we're done that, we'll just sleep through as many days as we need to until we get to the exam. And then we will hopefully pass the exam. I will save before, just in case something goes horribly wrong, but the exam doesn't prove too much difficulty. I'll explain a bit more to the exam when we get it. And then this game has a few inbuilt events to it, so by meeting certain requirements, certain in-game events will trigger. There's one event which is extremely beneficial to this run, which is by dueling Chaz 10 times, one of the teachers in the game will essentially say, no, there's no way you could beat Chaz 10 times, watch me do it. You know, even if you do, I will promote you to Obelisk Blue, because they just don't believe in you. And we do beat him, and that gets us to Obelisk Blue really quickly. So this is one of the spell cards I was talking about, Nobleman of Crossout. All that allows us to do is select a monster that's in face-down defense position, and we can just instantly destroy it, which is rather quick for us. We have a similar card, which is Nobleman of Extermination, which allows us to target his spell and trap cards. So in this game, spell cards are cards we can activate during our turn, for the most part, and trap cards are cards you can set for later. There's also different spell speeds in this game, and what I mean by that is the timing in which you're allowed to activate cards. For example, regular spells are what's considered spell speed 1, where they can only be activated during your turn and can't be activated in response to something. Traps and quick play spell cards are spell speed 2, which mean that they can be played both just on your own, or you can play them in response to something. And then there's counter traps, which are like that previous tier, except you can only activate things which are in the same tier or higher. So by playing a counter trap, you're essentially dwarfing anything else your opponents can do. However, with some of those later things on spell speed 2 and forward, you have the problem of the game. In real life, when you're playing cards, you can just choose when to activate something and just tell your opponent. In this game, it's got to ask. So there's Pot of Greed. It allows him to draw 2 cards from his deck. So when we're... what was I saying? So yeah, so in this game, if you were to play a quick play spell card or have a trap set, the game would essentially ask you during every single possible point if you want to activate your spell or trap card, which is rather slow, so we make sure to have none of those in our deck. That is a Steameroid equipped with Premature Burial. We can deal with that. We just need to hope he doesn't have Mirror Force, and we're good. Oh, Extermination, there we go. So that's good. So, this, for those unfamiliar, this is Cyrus. He has a little machine type deck with a lot of Roid type monsters. So that is Steameroid, usually quite a threatening monster, however it's quite easy to fight against. It has 1800 attack, and its effect is that when it attacks, it gains an extra 500 attack. So in other words, it can be anything with less than 2300, which is rather terrifying. However, its downside is that when it gets attacked, it loses 500 temporarily. So I can beat it with anything stronger than 1300. This is Gyroid. This is one of the more annoying monsters to fight. Regardless of how strong my monsters are, it always requires 2 hits to kill. One important thing to note is also I can't activate a spell card during my battle phase. That is just down to the rules of the game, and means that I can't just flip a monster over and destroy it with a spell card and then be able to attack him directly all at the same time. Right, so that's Penguin Soldier. There are a few flip cards in this game, and what I mean by flip cards is cards that have a special effect from when they're set face down and then flipped up, whether that being because your opponent attacked into them or because you changed them from face down defense to face up attack position during your turn. What Penguin Soldier does is it allows you to target 2 monsters your opponent controls and returns them back to their hand. So usually I aim to play around these cards as best I can by making sure that they will prioritize cards that haven't attacked yet. So by attacking with a monster I would want to keep on the board first, it'll target the 2 other cards that I had. So you'll notice I summoned 2 monsters last turn. That was down to the effect of Inferno. So there's 2 special cards I'm going to be using in this game, which is Inferno and Spirit of Flames. They can do what's called a special summon. The idea of a special summon is that it's a summon in addition to your regular summon. So their thing is, by removing a fire monster from your graveyard from play, you can just summon it at any time during the duel. So here we're going into duel number 4. So we have 6 opportunities to duel the various people. It's all throughout the weekends, morning, afternoon, and evening. Throughout the weekend, you can't actually do any duels. All you can do during the week is view cutscenes, and there's a few events which can happen, but those are few and far between. You can also buy packs on Tuesday. However, we're not going to be buying any packs. So he's played a lot of face down cards this turn. Almost one of these is definitely a Magic Jammer. Yes, it is. So ideally, I want him to go through as many cards as possible, as quickly as possible. So that way that he can't really respond and has to have the luck of the draw, essentially, when it comes to him picking up cards. So I'm going to activate my Giant Grenade here. I know he doesn't have a Magic Jammer because he usually only has 1 copy of every card, which allows me to return the spell and trap cards on his field back to his hand, which allows his board to be wide open as I attack with some really strong monsters. just about halving his life in one turn. Okay, so as expected, he just said those. Hopefully none of that was a torrential tribute. Okay, good. Hopefully, if none of these are Mirror Force, we won the game. That is a Magic Cylinder, that is okay. So there's a few trap cards we need to watch out for. There's Mirror Force. That was a card we need to watch out for. So there is Negate Attack, which the effect of that is simply when I attack, he can activate it, and it just stops my attack for that turn. There is Mirror Force, which is when I attack, it destroys all of my monsters that are in attack position. This is not a good spot. I'm going to work out a solution to this. So there is Mirror Force, which when I attack destroys all my monsters that are in attack. And there is Magic Cylinder that stops my attack and does the damage back to me. So he's played 2 copies of a card called Black Pendant and equipped them to his Steamroid. What each of those do is increases the attack of that monster by 500, which is quite scary. So I'm just trying to hope to draw a copy of a card which is a spell which just says destroy an opponent's monster. We have about 6 of those in the deck, so we should be able to get to one of them relatively quickly. In the meantime, I just need to stall and make sure I don't lose the game. It is alright if we lose a duel or 2. Usually we can afford to lose 1 or 2. We should be good to summon and attack this turn. If we don't draw a spell next turn, we are in a bit of trouble. So let's see how this goes. Okay, good. He didn't draw a monster. Oh, never mind. My math's bad. We should have just surrendered. Never mind. So yeah, there's one loss in. Nope. So there's only a few places Cyrus can be. He can be next to the ocean, or he can be at the school, or he can be in the dorms. He's not any of those places, so we're just going to sleep. We just need to wait for the cutscenes to go by. Sometimes you'll find people. If anyone asks us to go home with them, we're going to just tell them no, because it's faster. We don't lose any time by hurting people's feelings, so... See, so now we're going to Jaden's room. Cyrus is there. So, whenever we're starting one of these duels, we're doing a coin flip. The reason for that is deciding who goes first and second. So you just decide which card you decide which side of the coin you think you're going to get, and then the person who succeeds in the coin flip is the one who chooses who goes first and second. All in all, this actually lands us a 75% chance of getting what we actually want, because if we win the coin flip, which is a 50-50, we can choose to go first. However, the opponent will randomly choose between first and second. So even if we lose the coin flip, it's still a 50-50 for us, which is a rather good set of circumstances. So do we have... Okay, we don't have the card we need. So we need to Tribute the Doom to remove this monster. We're going to remove Birdface. It's not a particularly good card. Oh, I destroyed my own monster there. That was an accident. The targeting in this game can be an adventure at best sometimes. Sometimes the directions which you would think you would need to push the buttons aren't quite the ones you need to push. So the card we played is a card called Bistro Butcher. Preferably, I don't want to be attacking my opponent directly with it, I just want to be destroying its monsters. Its thing is that it's a strong monster, and is a very good card for the late game. However, whenever it deals damage to the opponent directly, it makes them draw cards, which would be rather good in a mill type deck, where the aim is to deck your opponent out. However, that is not the aim of this deck, and that would only be benefiting the opponent. So at the moment, we're just trying to clear the opponent's monsters as fast as we can. Currently, he doesn't seem to be playing anything which is a threat to us, which is nice. As long as he continues to not do that, we should have this game in the bag. There is one additional card we could have taken at the beginning of the game. So there's a lot of glitches that are built into this game. A lot as a result of lazy development from the looks of things, where certain cards that have costs that are effects don't actually have the costs programmed in. So, in other words, cards like Burst Stream of Destruction, which is a card which allows us to just destroy all the cards the opponent has on the for like monster cards they have, with the drawback being that you need to control a Blue Eyes White Dragon. It does not have the prerequisite of needing the Blue Eyes White Dragon. So it's a nice free board wipe. That being said, we're not going to be using that card just because I didn't pick it up, I didn't buy it. Just because it's a lot of time for one card. I think that's 4 wins in. We can check in our status screen to find out how many wins we're at. I'm pretty sure it's 4 though. In the meantime, we're just going to keep doing Cyrus. We don't duel Jaden because Jaden actually has a lot of strong cards in his deck. Chumley is actually very easy to beat, and arguably just as easy, if not easier, than Cyrus. However, Chumley has a lot of cards with a high defense value, and a lot of cards that cause him to gain additional life. So that means the duels against Chumley actually take a very long time as a result, even though they are a lot more consistent. Cyrus doesn't have many things he can actually do to hinder us, which is why Cyrus is the one we duel against the most. However, he does have a few problematic cards. He has Steamroid, which you saw previously. If he equips that with too many cards, we can't really deal with that. He has Big Core, which I'll explain when it comes to it, because there's no way he's not going to get it. Oh, we do have a monster in our graveyard. Nice. So we can summon Spirit Flames. So as a rule of thumb, whenever we attack, we'll always attack the monster we know first, and then the monster we don't know second, in case the monster we don't know will return cards to our hand. Never mind, in this case it was Gyroid, so we need to attack it twice. And that lines up perfectly with how much monsters we have. Okay, we just need to hope that isn't a Mirror Force. In fact, we can do better than that. We can Trunade that pack, we can play Grandola, and we can almost defeat him this turn. Go ahead.
We have 2 donations. One is an anonymous €2.69 saying, "Why can't I hold all these cards?" The other is a €10 donation from Viper saying, "Looking forward to seeing all the runs this weekend for UKSG. Bring on the memes."
Shout-outs to Viper.
Yeah, it's not rock guy.
Whoa!
Yeah, whoa.
Crazy. We should be good for just attacking the game here. Okay, there's a Mirror Force. So, notice I drew a monster card that turn, but I didn't play it. The reason for that was because I thought I had game anyway. However, in the event he did have a Mirror Force, I was saving my once per turn summon for the main phase 2 to be able to play a monster, so I definitely had something more. He didn't even play a card this turn, so we can just go into battle phase and attack for game. Okay, we should be 5 wins in. I'm going to go to the stats screen just to check. Yeah, we're 5 wins in. There he is. The only other person we can duel at the moment is Professor Banner. However, he actually has a really difficult deck, and one we are not equipped to deal with right now. There are additional duelists in the game. There's various duelists from Obelisk Blue and Raw Yellow. However, this game has a reputation system where you will gain a rank depending on what dorm you're in and how many duels you've won. And that really limits who you're allowed to duel. However, by being in Raw Yellow, it essentially gives us access to the whole game, as far as we are concerned. So we're going to activate Nobleman of Extermination here to remove this card first. And toss out to remove his face-down monster. So an additional effect of the Nobleman cards that I hadn't explained previously is that in the event he has multiple monsters with the same name in his deck, if the card we remove with Nobleman of Crossout he has more copies of, it will remove all of those copies from his deck as well. So, unfortunately in this case, almost all of the cards he has are one-offs, which isn't a particularly good deck building style. What are we going to do here? we're gonna activate Upstart Goblin and see what we get. Okay, that didn't really help us. So we just gave our opponent some life point, and that might seem a little counterintuitive. So what the card does is it gives our opponents 1,000 life points and allows us to draw a card, which is actually a really good effect. If you think about it, sometimes just drawing a card allows you to win the game, and sure, giving your opponent's life does not seem good, but a card which would read, give your opponent 1,000 life points and win the game, suddenly sounds like a really good card. And sometimes drawing a card is just winning the game. So yeah, at the moment we are just summoning monsters. Despite the fact he has 7 cards in hand, he doesn't seem to be having anything of value. Yep, just saying one monster and one spell. We can exterminate the spell or trap, get that out of the way. We've got rid of his Penguin Soldier. We've got rid of his... That was a Torrential, that was a really good card to remove. We got rid of his Penguin Soldier, we got rid of his Man-Eater Bug. So this should be just fine to destroy, and we should be able to attack him for game. Never mind, that's the one other flip card I forgot to mention, Hain. Similar to Penguin Soldier, except it only returns 1 card to our hand. Torrential Tribute is the... there's 2 cards we need to watch out when summoning monsters, Trap Hole and Torrential Tribute. Trap Hole is just whenever we play a monster, he can activate it in response, and what it does is it just destroys our monster as long as that's over 1,000 attack, which all of our monsters do. The other card is Torrential Tribute, where whenever I summon a monster, regardless of what it is, he can activate in response and destroy every single monster card on the field. However, that does include his own. So it's a bit of a pain when we're trying to establish a big board. Cool, let's go to sleep. Cyrus. So we're 6 wins in now. We just need to finish off the Cyrus Jewels and then we'll be good to take the exam. So we'll explain a bit about the exam before we get to it, because I can't really commentate too much during it, as there's a lot of concentration and, quite frankly, not much to explain whilst that requires actually seeing it. So there is 2 halves to the exam, a theory part and a practical part. The theory part is split into 2 segments. One is a multiple choice exam where you are shown a question about a card, and you essentially pick which card matches that card's description. And you get 10 of those questions, and it's just answer them as best as you can. You get 10 points for every single question you answer right. The second half of the theory exam is the time duel, where you're essentially shown this board state where you can win on this turn. You're allowed to look at the contents of your deck, you're allowed to look at the contents of your opponent's deck, you're allowed to look at any cards your opponent has face down. You just need to figure out how you can use the resources you have to win in that turn. And the points you gain are relative to how quickly you solved it. The time allowances are really lenient. This game is made for, well, the first few duels are very clearly supposed to be the ones which ease you in, and those are the only ones we're going to be doing. There's a few different tiers of time duels, which depend in which dorm you're doing, which exams you're trying to sit, and what you're trying to build yourself up to. However, because we're going from the first dorm to the second dorm, the exams are really easy, so we don't particularly need to worry about that. My math is correct. We should have won this, but we are going to activate Black Pendant just to be safe. Yeah, we've got this. So there's a bit of positioning as well whenever I'm going through these menus. Whenever I attack whenever I attack into an opponent's monster, my cursor will end up wherever my opponent's monster was, and whenever I attack him directly, it will always go back to the first monster on my field, so whichever is furthest left. So yeah, that time Cyrus wasn't in the dorm, he was over by the ocean, so we took a minute to find. Sometimes Cyrus can just not spawn, and that's few but far between. I just need to go somewhere where there's no one and just push the A button, and then it'll just skip to the next time bit. Although that will be a lot more prominent when we get to Chaz. Chaz is a much lower spawn rate, and is actually just really tight for making him spawn 10 times, so ideally we lose to him as least as possible. That was Pot of Greed. That allows us to draw 2 cards from our deck. Okay, we don't have many spells or traps this time around. We're going to focus on summoning fire monsters because we have Spirit of Flames and Inferno in our hand. So we're going to be aiming to get, anytime he's wanting to destroy monsters, we want him to destroy our fire monsters, because those are the ones that actually gain us any benefit for being destroyed. So he didn't activate any spells or trap there, which means we're safe. It's not a spell or trap to do with summoning monsters, and it's not spells or traps to do with attacking. So I'm not sure what it is. It's possibly set some copies of Black Pendant up. I'm not sure why he would, but he might have. Ah, there is negate attack. So yeah, as you can see, it just stops my attack for that turn. I just need to wait for the next one. Okay, so this is Big Core, and yep, he's doing exactly what I thought he would do. And yeah, those are 2 Black Pendants. So Big Core is a problematic monster at best. You'll see whenever the cursor hovers over it, it gives a 3 in an hourglass. What that means is that, well, now it says 2, but... okay, we're going to activate Upstart Goblin here. I'll explain that in a second, I just want to focus on destroying this monster. Okay, we're just going to set and change our monster defense mode for now. So, Big Core's effect is that he has 3 counters, and whenever he attacks or gets attacked, he loses a counter. It's a really strong monster, however, as soon as he attacks with no counters, he's destroyed. So really, I just need to wait him out at this point.
Do we have time to talk about
This would
some
be
of our
perfect.
donation incentives? Well, the one that's coming up in a bit is the Colin McRae Rally 2.0 Arcade % Car Selection Incentive. This is a donation award between 6 different cars that you can choose from. The Ford Focus, Mitsubishi Lancer, Peugeot 206, Seat Cordoba, Subaru Impreza, and the Toyota Corolla. So if you have one of your favorite cars in there, you should better donate to support that one car. And
Awesome. So now we're just trying to stall the game. We're waiting for Big Core to have spent all of its tokens. That was its last token just spent now. So next time the monster attacks, it will be destroyed. And that will also destroy the equip cards along with it. So he's just activated Call of the Haunted, which is fantastic, which means he won't bring back Big Core. So we're going to activate Spirit of Flames, get rid of that Inferno that was destroyed, summon that in attack mode. We're also going to summon 7-foot fish. We're just going to get some damage in as much as we can now. So he has 2 revival cards, both Premature Burial and Call of the Haunted. Premature Burial is an equipped spell card, where when he can play it, he pays 800 life, and it brings a monster from the grave back to the field. And Call of the Haunted is similar, but a trap card. So as you see, he attacked for that final time, and his Big Core was destroyed. Whenever a monster who's equipped with cards is destroyed, the equipped cards are also destroyed. Black Pendant, if I haven't explained it already, it increases the monster's attack by 500, and when it's removed from the field, does 500 direct damage to the opponent. So all in all, it is a really solid card. So when his Big Core was destroyed, it dealt 1000 effectively straight to me. However, he has now exhausted all of his decent cards, and now just seems to be setting a monster every turn. So we just need to destroy it and keep building up the field so we can keep attacking.
do we have time for a quick donation?
Go ahead.
We have a €1 donation from Dante Does saying, "Everyone asks what Pot of Greed, but nobody asks how's Pot of Greed." Thank you for the donation.
Okay. So, Snipers has just played possibly one of the most problematic cards in the run. Luckily, we just got super lucky. You can just do that, and it destroys the monster. So, the card he just played is Snatch Steal. And what that card does is it's an equipped card which allows him to target one of my monsters and gets it just to his side of the field permanently until the card is removed. The downside of the card is that every single turn it gives me 1,000 life. However, sometimes it does mean that he just removes some of my answers to his cards. So yeah, Cyrus just didn't spawn there, so we're just gonna wait for the next weekend. Okay, so there's the professor talking about the exam. They announced it a bit ahead of time, and they announced the theme of the duel. The first one is always the battle theme. Oh, here's Cyrus. He wants to walk home with us because he's lonely, but we're going to tell him to walk home alone. It's faster, it's just less dialogue. So if I hit R here, it just skips all that dialogue. We're going to save the game, just because, in case RNG just decides to do us a concern. So yeah, we just need to win 2 more duels against Cyrus this weekend and we're good. He was there, I just pressed B for no reason. There we go. There we go. Okay. So hopefully we can just encounter him once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and we can just sleep for the rest of the weekend. So I never actually explained the second half of the exam. The second half of the exam is the practical exam, which is announced ahead of time, as you just saw, and you were given a theme. And the idea is that you need to just do a regular duel against one of the instructor duelists, and you are graded based on how well you met the theme of the duel. For example, in the duel we're going to be doing, which is themed battle, you gain points for every time you destroy a monster of your opponents, and every time that you deal damage to your opponent directly. Which is really good because that's what you need to be doing in the game anyway. If we meet the prerequisite number of points early, we could surrender the duel, and that actually doesn't cause you to lose any points. However, I can't remember off the top of my head how many points we actually need to do that, so we're just going to see the duel through. So here's Big Core again. As we mentioned before, oh, never mind, he did us a favor, kind of. So Limiter Removal is one of the most scary but least scary cards that there is. What it does is it allows him to double all of the attack points of his machine type monsters for that turn, but then causes them all to be destroyed. So sure, he may have buffed his monster, which was about 2,600 up to about 3,000 something, which, or well, I guess some around about 4,000, which is why our life is so low. However, it did remove the Big Core for us, so we don't need to worry about Big Core anymore. And he's almost out of cards completely, so we just need to finish this duel. Unfortunately, we don't actually have any monster cards at the moment. Do we have Upstart? Yes, we do. Okay, can we get a monster? Nice, there's a monster. So yeah, this is one of those situations which I was talking about where, sure, we gave him 1,000 life, but we're also going to be doing way more damage this turn than we would have been if we hadn't have drawn the monster this turn. Oh, I didn't know Inferno had an effect like that. I've never really attacked with Inferno. Usually you don't attack with Inferno because it really doesn't have much attack. You just use it for an additional summon to kind of swarm the field a bit. It's very infrequent you can actually use them to destroy opponents' monsters. Okay, cool. We have enough damage to win this fight. Nice. Okay, one more duel and we are good. You'll see we get money after each of these duels. This money is actually completely irrelevant. We don't need to buy anything for the rest of the run. There is one optional set of cards we can pick up. So the guy we're going to be dueling next is Chaz, who plays a dark type deck. And one card he has is a field spell card. Field spells are cards which affect both sides of the field. And what he does is he's got a card which just raises the attack, just straight up, of all dark type monsters. So one thing you can kind of do to cheese the fight is by building a deck also with dark type monsters. He doesn't really gain much of an advantage because you're also getting the buff. However, that's slow, and I forget which pack actually gives you those, so we're not going to do that. So he's played Snatch Duel. That's going to slow down our momentum a little bit, but not too much. One thing you need to remember to do during this game is you don't want to summon your biggest monster straight off the bat, because if they have Snatch Steal, they will play it as soon as they have it. As soon as they can. So you never want to play your strongest monster first, because then they will Snatch Steal that, and then that becomes a problem. Okay, there's Big Core. Speaking of problems, I'm not sure if I have removal for this. Hopefully we do. There's Upstart. Okay, we have Fisher. So, we have a few removal cards in this. We have the Nobleman's to remove face-down monsters and spells and traps. However, for face-up monsters, we have a few different options. We have Fisher, which targets the monster on his side of the field with the lowest attack. We have Smashing Grounds, destroys the monster on the opponent's side of the field with the highest defense. And we have Tribute of the Doomed, which allows us to choose the monster we destroy. However, it requires us to discard a card from our hand to the graveyard. So it doesn't seem like he's doing too much at the moment. He slowed our momentum slightly by playing Hain Hain. Summon this. Okay, we should be able to win next turn. I'm not sure what that face down card is, but it is irrelevant, it seems. He just played a face down, so hopefully that's nothing relevant. We do have Trunade, so in fact we're going to activate Upstart Goblin right now, and then that's going to be a Magic Jammer. It's going to negate our effect. So now he has nothing to negate Trunade. 200 IQ, boys. Summon Birdface, and now we have enough for game. Okay, now that should be duel number 10. Let's go and check our inventory just to make sure. Yes, 10 wins. Okay, good. Save. We're halfway through, boys. Now we're just gonna sleep. So you can actually sleep at any time of the day, so we're just gonna go straight to our room and just sleep like a degen. Okay, there we go. So, shop. We don't want to buy anything. No, we don't want to... This menu sucks because it's like... It's so many like negatives and then it's like double negatives and I forget which one I need to push. Okay, Friday exam. I saved. I hope I saved. I'm pretty sure I did. Hopefully we don't fail this, so I need to focus. I'm gonna get these wrong, by the way. Okay, nice, got one right. Heck yeah, boys, let's do this. Let's get all 10 right. Vital Germs. That's plants, I think? Yes. Okay, good. If Summon Skull activates Metamorph, you can summon... okay, 200 IQ, boys. No one cross out allowed up to 2. No, wait. What? Okay, never mind. That's literally a card I'm playing. How did I not get that? I think that's Skullbird by the art. Yes, it is. Sometimes I just go by the art for the fusions. What's it? Whatever. Sure, I didn't even know that one. That's the highest attack? That looks scary. No, it isn't. Okay, never mind. If you have United, you stand with 3 monsters. It's 800 each? 800 times 3, I think, is that. Yes. Question 9. Relinquished is Black Illusion Ritual. Come on, we all played a Relinquished deck when we were kids. Don't lie if you didn't. Steel Ogre Grotto and Lesser Dragon. That seems like one of those two. 50-50, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Yes, 200 IQ was. Okay, we got through the nice. Okay, skill exam. We don't want to listen to the rules. I know how to do this. Number 1, I've done this one before. Let's just not do this incorrectly. What's that? Just so that's Exodia. I think we just summon this and equip this. I don't think there's anything special we need to do. Oh, I think this is right. I'm pretty sure this is right. Yeah! 2 Exodias cannot exist at once, and now we have enough attack to win. I think. Wait. Yes, exactly. Perfect. Success! I finished that in 19 seconds. Okay, sweet. That's the theory exam done. We passed that with flying colours. So yeah, our deck is actually ready because it's just our regular deck. We lost the coin flip. So this guy actually has a deck which is somewhat threatening. But like I said, it doesn't matter if we lose to it. We just need to destroy enough monsters and deal enough damage. So we're just going to play monsters that are relatively tough and just kind of hope it goes well. Extermination. So we don't want to be playing too many cards which remove his monsters from the field by effect, because we want to be doing it for points. He does have some monsters with relatively high defense, so there's a chance this does not destroy his monster. Never mind. That's actually a really good card to get. So that's a card which is the reason why we don't duel Chumley. Its effect... Okay, he only has one copy. That makes me think he has a copy in his hand. So what that card does... and I think that's the card he just said. What it does is, it's a very weak monster, but when it's destroyed, it lets you gain 1000 life points, and then allows you to summon every other copy of it from your deck all at once. Now we only brought out one copy as a result of it, which makes me think that's another copy in it from his hand that he just played. Yep. I'm psychic, my dudes. So one advantage he actually has, so by increasing the number of life points he has, that increases the amount of damage we can do to him, so the more points we can get by winning this duel. Okay, summon Cyber Harpy Lady. So at this point we've destroyed 4 monsters, and we haven't started dealing damage to him directly yet. Okay, what does that do? That makes his monster quite strong. Okay, so we are going to remove that by card effect, solely because we don't actually have anything which will be able to defeat that by battle. Smashing Ground. Okay, good. There is a known bug with Smashing Ground. We don't know what causes it, but sometimes it will target a monster you control instead of your opponent. That kind of sucks. I've yet to have it happen to me, so that's kind of lucky, but... if that happens, that's the thing that happens. Okay, we should be able to win like next turn. And that should be enough damage to cause us to succeed the exam, which will be good. And yeah, that's another monster for us to destroy. Hopefully that does not have 2000 defense. It has 1500. Okay, nice. So yeah, this is more than enough points to win these on this exam. Okay, we're just gonna choose whoever has the most attack here. This one. Victory! Okay, nice. So yeah, that was way more points than we needed. We actually got the best exam results in the school, it seems. Okay, so here we're gonna have a chance to go up to Raw Yellow. Okay, just making sure I select the right one. So now this is kind of expanded to who we can talk to. So now if we head over to the Blue Dawn, oh, please tell me Chaz will spawn. That is not Chaz. Chaz is uncooperative at best and delusive at worst. We just need to go to these question marks until we find him. There we go. So he's... if you see someone at the Obelisk Blue Dorm, it's always him. You can just see the annoying ass grin that he has. So this is the guy we need to beat 10 times. Well, technically 11, including the duel. So, as I said, he's elusive at best. He can be in one of 4 places. I think, yeah. Okay, he didn't spawn, so we just need to wait. Not there. Not there. The OK is at the volcano. I'm probably going to save just throughout the Chaz segment of this run, just in case we get really unlucky and he just doesn't spawn 10 times before the exam. Because we don't want to be taking another exam. That would be a huge time detriment. Okay, cool, we can cross out that. So, Chaz has a way more threatening deck than Cyrus, but luckily we're actually good at this game, so we can beat him pretty consistently still. Unfortunately, he does do a bit more during his turn, so we do need to wait. So there's that field spell I was talking about. Now all of his dark type monsters will be stronger. However, we do have a card which is affected by ourselves. Our Bistro Butcher is actually a dark type monster. If he starts summoning too many dark type monsters, we'll just surrender this match and wait for the next one. Because there's not too much we can do to deal about that. Although the AI isn't particularly good and sometimes has a misunderstanding of how much strength its monsters have. For example, I believe that even if the monster would have more attack after it's summoned, if it doesn't think it'll have more attack, like, my monster is 1,850. So if he has a monster with 1,700 attack, it would be buffed by 500 when it hits the board, but it doesn't take that into account, so it'll play in defense mode thinking it's not strong enough. So that's a card. I forget what it is, but its effect is when it's destroyed, it can just target a monster I control and destroys it. Okay, so that was 1,750. We were going to play Cyber Harpy Lady. There's Trap Hole. So yeah, no summon that turn. Just going to need to wait. Oh dear, that is not good. I believe we have a removal spell for that. We just need to hope he does not have a... Ooh, in fact, this is literally the best set of circumstances possible. So we're going to play Copycat. Copycat is a really good card, primarily because it just allows us to copy the original stats of an opponent. That does mean if our opponent's monster is buffed, it doesn't copy the buffs, just the base stats. However, we'll retain them after the monster is destroyed, so now we just have a really strong monster. Typically you use Copycat for really strong monsters that you can't normally defeat by combat, and you don't have any removal spells for. Essentially, if you attack a monster with the same amount of attack as your monster, then both monsters are destroyed, so Copycat's quite good for that. He's played a card called Swords of Revealing Light. What that does is, it is a stall card. Effectively, it means I can't attack for 3 turns. However, he can, however, he won't. So at the moment we're just waiting for that card to run out. I'm building up our board in the meantime. It does not stop us from summoning, just attacking. It does mean we should be able to... In fact, we should be able to just grenade. Bring it back to his hand. Attack with this. Never mind, that's a Hain. Okay, never mind. We would have had game if that was anything other than Hain. Oh well. So he's going to play Swords of Revealing Light again, and we're going to need to wait 3 turns. That was the bit of a risk we were playing there. Oh dear, he's bringing back the big guy for us. We're going to Copycat that again. What's that spell card we have? I've forgotten which is Upstart. Okay, we're gonna play Upstart. See if we can get anything particularly useful. Cross out, not useful. So yeah, we're gonna copy his monster's attack. I guess just enter. Some of these fights just do drag on. Like, sometimes you get really lucky and the fight's over like in 3 turns. We're on turn 19 now. Some of these fights do get a little absurd. So yeah, we just need to wait for spell cards run out. There's no point in even summoning a monster because he's just going to kill it. There we go. Okay, there goes Swords of Revealing Light. Okay, let's remove these monsters. So we're going to summon Inferno. Get rid of that. Summon that attack mode. We're going to play... In fact, we're going to use Nobleman of Crossout. Destroy that. There's a Magic Jammer. Okay, that's fine. The last thing we're going to do is summon Luster Dragon, one of the strongest monsters we have. We're going to crash the Copycat into the Giga Gagago. Because they have the same amount of attack, they're both destroyed. Attack the monster we don't know. Okay. And attack with Inferno. Okay, we should be good to win this game. He's only going to have 2 cards in hand, and I don't think he's going to be able to stop me with those. Okay, he's not even going to try stop us. Oh, battle phase? That would help. Oh, almost. Math isn't quite right there. There we go. Okay, 1 Chazduel down. Hopefully the rest of the fights go faster than that. I'm going to save just to be safe. So he's not there. He's not there. He's not there. Not there. Not there. Okay, fantastic. Sleep. Okay, next week. So yeah, sometimes you just encounter people during the week. They just don't say anything particularly helpful. I think this is probably the Duel Festival they're going to talk about. No, it's just a hint. Yeah, the characters in this game will text you once every now and then and just give you various miscellaneous information. Come on, Chaz. Just please spawn, like, sometime this century. There he is. He's next to the ocean. So yeah, there's 5 places you can spawn. The Blue Boy Storm, the school, the crater, the harbor, or the ocean. So I need to check all of those places. So hopefully he's a bit more lenient this time in terms of... Oh, sorry. No, just keep cables down. So, Great, so he's starting off to a slow start as well, playing another Swords of Revealing Light. Not great for us. In the meantime, we'll Exterminate his trap card. Okay, good thing we did. That was a Mirror Force. Did not mean to set that monster, but doesn't really matter. He's not going to summon a monster in attack mode anyway. And I was right. Robin Zombie. So I didn't explain Robin Zombie last time he played it. What that card does is every time a monster is destroyed by battle, it removes a card from the top of the owner's deck to the graveyard. So it's essentially a good way to just go through all of your opponent's cards. Robin Zombie. So we still can't battle because of Swords of Revealing Light. And there it goes. Okay, he didn't summon a monster. Do we have a monster in hand? Can I summon this? Oh, I can't summon this. You know, let's chance this. Less RNG, lads. Okay, we just won. See, that's what I was meaning about Upstart Goblins. So sometimes you can just draw victory. So we originally didn't have enough attack to actually win this fight. However, because of Upstart Goblin, we were able to gain a card which was going to get us enough attack. Oh, wait. Oh, we're 200 points short. Never mind. Close enough, though. That's okay. We can deal with this monster just fine. And he didn't play anything else, so all we need to do is clear this monster and we're fine. Okay, we can Trunade the field spell back to his hand. will decrease the attack of his monster and allow us to attack for lethal. Okay, 2 Chaz duels down. Let's go find Chaz. It's like Where's Wally, except it's no fun. And sometimes he just isn't there. So, all the time we are choosing to go first in all of these duels. Going first, there was a rule change later on in Yu-Gi-Oh's lifespan. However, as far as this generation of Yu-Gi-Oh is concerned, it's just objectively better to go first in every duel. It just means that you can do stuff without your opponent being able to respond. So I can summon any monsters I want without any fear of repercussion to my actions at the time. I think he played a Swords of Revealing Light just then. Let me check. Dude, he's loving that card today. I've never seen him play it 3 duels in a row. Okay, never mind. So we got the Torrential Tribute out of the way. I'm surprised it took us that long in the run to get Torrential. So, as I said before, when we summoned a monster, it just destroyed every monster in the field. He didn't have any, so there was no negative effect for him. However, of course, we had several monsters in the field already. Okay. There should be just 1 turn left on Swords of Revealing Light. He doesn't seem to be playing any monsters, which implies he doesn't have any in hand, unless he just draws one. Which he did. Do we have Cross Out? Extermination. Okay, we don't. So, Spear Dragon is a unique card. It has what's called piercing damage. So, the way battle damage in this game is calculated is if you have an attack position monster, so I'm attacking with it, into an opponent's attack position monster, the difference in the attack position and in the attack points is dealt to the opponent's damage. However, if I attack with an attack position monster into a defense position monster, even if my attack's higher than their defense, it doesn't deal damage to them directly. However, Spear Dragon has what's known as piercing damage, which does cause that damage to happen. The disadvantage, of course, to such a strong monster is that it changes itself to defense position after it attacks. And it has 0 defense, so it is left quite vulnerable. However, you can manipulate the AI by just having strong monsters, in which case the opponent will just not summon a monster strong enough to fight it. Okay, that is Chaz duel number 3 done. As I can say, some of these are super fast. Sometimes you get really good Chaz spawns. And these have been like 3 really good spawns in a row. In fact, am I on win number 3? Yes, okay. So yeah, these have been 2 good spawns in a row. Aye. There's Volcano, then Ocean, and... Wait, no, but... So yeah, so this must be duel number 4. Okay. Making sure we're getting these numbers right. I didn't quite realize how much the splits were helpful for this. Okay, Extermination. So, he's already revealed 2 of his trap cards, both Robin and Zombies. We're just trying to get rid of the ones which are problematic for us. Hopefully that's not a Torrential. That is a Trap Hole, that is fine. So, he's already exhausted a large quantity of his resources. By that I mean he's played most of his cards. Having a lot of cards is advantageous, solely because it gives you a lot of options. So, by limiting the number of cards that he has in his hand, he's not got too many things he can choose to do around for situations. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about like him exhausting resources. So he's cleared out all of our monsters there. That is a bit of an issue, however we can just wait for the next turn. There's another Swords Revealing Light. Time to wait. Oh boy, I love waiting. Okay, there's a 3rd copy of Robin Zombie, so that's every copy of Robin Zombie he has is now on the field. Summon Inferno. It doesn't seem like he has any monsters in hand at the moment. I'm not sure what those 2 cards he has in hand, because he hasn't played them in quite some time. So there he just drew a monster. I'm not going to summon anything this turn. Only card I have is Copycat, and if my opponent has no face-up monsters, Copycat will simply become a 0/0 monster. which of course is not something I want. That is a card I forget the name of, however its effect is that it gains attack relative to how many cards is in my opponent's hand. So I'm actually going to clear that with Smashing Grants first. Okay, and now we're going to summon Neobug. Swords of Revealing Light is now gone, so we can now attack for a large quantity of damage. Okay, cool. He just didn't play anything. That's really nice. Summon a monster just in case my math's off. Although I believe we have lethal with the first two. Okay, so that was duel number 4. So now we need to go sleep. Sunday. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. Not there. So I need to go somewhere no one is, and that gets the dialogue out of the way really quickly and just advances us to the next time. Of course, we don't want to sleep through the whole day because then we miss an opportunity to duel Chaz. So we can exterminate that spell card. That is a magic jammer. Rather redundant. So, although I never mentioned until now, magic jammer does have a cost whenever he plays it. He needs to discard a card from his hand to activate it. Which means that whenever we activate a card to destroy magic jammer, he effectively pays a cost to negate the effect, which makes him spend the card. So that's a little AI manipulation type thing you can do. Although there's no real way of guaranteeing that that's the card he has. It's just a nice set of circumstances you can arrive at, where he just discards a card for basically nothing. I'm going to evaluate my options here. I'm going to clear this. We're gonna get rid of the dark type monsters in case he has the field spell. Okay, Kikakagako. Hopefully we have some way of clearing this. I think we have Copycat in hand. We're gonna clear the extermination first. He's gonna discard another card. Okay. No, we have Bistro Butcher. How much is that? 2,400. We can't clear that just yet, so we're gonna just stall until we can find a solution for this. We're on the road to winning this match, but we're not in a great set of circumstances at the moment. He summoned Hain, which is really good for us. That means he hasn't set Hain, which means its effect won't activate. At the moment we're just stalling until we encounter a card which will be beneficial for us. Looking for either Fisher, or Smashing Ground, or Tribute of the Doomed, or Copycat. Any of those cards, or another copy of Blank Pendant. Any of those cards will get us exactly what we need. There's Upstart, that'll allow us to get to that sooner. There's Crossout, not what we were looking for. Hopefully we find what we need. This isn't looking great. We might end up losing this duel. Yeah, okay, we're just gonna surrender here. Save going through the next turn, because we cannot bring this one back. Okay, no Chaz spawn. Yeah, losing to Chaz is quite a hindrance because you lose out on your vital Chaz spawns. So much money and we're not going to spend any of it.
People can always spend their money to donate to
So yeah, another good chest spawn. Okay, what's our hand like? Smashing Grounds, and Black Pendant. Okay, this is actually a really good starting hand for us. We have Black Pendant to go over anything strong he has at the start. And that was a Smashing Grounds as well. So we're gonna play Butcher turn 1. Butcher is really good at clearing monsters. Okay, that was an ineffective first turn. Okay, that's a shame. So he's played that field spell very early on. Hopefully that is... Hopefully he doesn't have too many dark monsters he's going to play. Otherwise that could prove quite a problem. We'll see what we can do. Hopefully we just get some good luck. Okay, so because there's no monsters in the field, he's just summoning things blindly. Which is really good for us. He's summoning with some monsters that have really good set effects. Just need to hope this is not Mirror Force. Magic Cylinder, okay, that's not great, but not the worst card in the world. Yeah, although he is going to change his monster defense position. Never mind, he's going to sacrifice his monster. That is quite strong. We should be able to clear that, however. Smashing Grounds, there we go.
Do we have time for a quick donation?
Go on.
We have a €3 donation from Lone saying, Corolla Power Poggers!
I'm having also.
And that actually puts the Corolla in the lead for the Choose Car incentive.
Okay, trap hole, that is out the way. Luckily no torrential there. That would have been a pain. So he's completely out of cards. Oh, never mind, there's Mirror Force. So I have nothing left on the field. The good news is he has nothing left on the field. And he just needs to rely on whatever he draws every turn. So if he just doesn't draw a monster, then he doesn't get a monster that turn, which is really good for us. Which allows us just to be able to summon monsters and attack at a really fast rate. Now, there can be some times where he will just draw a card, which just isn't useful for him. A trap card he can't play, a spell card he can't play. Okay, that is a shame. We can deal with this. We can deal with this. We can. Oh yes, we can deal with it. We actually can. I didn't realize we had another copy of Smashing Grounds. That is fantastic. How are we doing on time, by the way?
1 hour 12.
Okay. Bit behind the pace I would like to be at, but still, alright. Oh, that was not what I meant to do. There we go. So yeah, we should be able to win this duel just now. I think that was duel number 5? Or win number 5? Let me check. Yeah, 15 wins. Okay, good. So yeah, 5 more duel against Chaz before we can do the event. And then that will be the final duel. Yeah. This game, of course, does have a lot of RNG because you just kind of need to put up with it and just realize it's a fun run anyway. Like, at best, a duel can take 2 minutes. At worst, a victory can take 10. So, it's a bit in between. It kind of evens out, usually over the course of a run. So, it's not often that you lose a lot of time, but it means that the good runs are usually just a bit lucky sometimes. Okay, we should be on pace for around about... should be on pace for about 130. Okay, so he summoned the Giga card. We have Smashing Grounds. That should clear that, but we're going to summon a monster first, just because I forget how that card works. That. Main phase 2, and Smashing Grounds. We're also going to equip our Luster Dragon with Black Pendant, increase its attack to 2400, which will cause us to get through this duel a lot faster. Never mind, he plays Heavy Storm, destroying all the spells and traps.
Time for another donation?
Please go ahead.
Alright. We have a €5 donation from Asterix saying, "Where is the Ford Focus, love?" Also, driving around in a London taxi for a speed game gets as close to Crazy Taxi as I possibly can. Let's go. That puts the Ford Focus not in the lead, but still in a close third. But on another incentive in the London Racer 2 incentive, the Ritchie London Cab is now in the lead. So that is going to be very interesting to see how that works out in the end.
Okay, that was a good set of circumstances. Exterminating a Magic Jammer, causing him to discard a card. Summon Luster Dragon, it's just our strongest monster. Get as much damage as we can as fast as we can. This duel should be over relatively quickly. He's completely off cards and just top decking at this point. And we have a large amount of threatening monsters and a few answers. So we just need to make sure we have something which can destroy his monster every turn, and something additional we can play. We haven't got any fire monsters in the graveyard, surprisingly. So we can't summon Inferno just yet. Inferno has the limitation of he can't actually be normal summoned. I haven't summoned this turn, have I? No, I had. Darn it, that is a shame. So we had Penguin Soldier returning my cards back. We're at a dangerously low life total. Hopefully we can claw this back just fine. Trinade, what else do we have? Upstart. Okay, cool. In retrospect, that was not the best play. If he draws a monster, we've lost. That was not correct. Okay, never mind. That's fine. I knew he didn't have anything. Totally. That was all planned for. So, summon Neobug. And now we just hope he doesn't get anything. Okay, do we have a cross out? I forget if we have cross out. Yes, we do. Nice. Okay, we should be able to win this in 2 more turns. Okay, victory number 6. Oh, sweet, good spawn. These are absurdly good spawns for having this. I don't use, like, we're getting terrible RNG during the duels, but we're getting some of the best spawns I've seen full stop. Like, you don't find Shaz this quickly in runs. This does not actually happen. Okay, what even are... Okay, good. He's played some spells. Hopefully one of them's a Magic Jammer. Never mind. Oh, good. We got rid of Torrential. We have 2 exterminations to remove both of his traps. Call of the Haunted, that's also a really good removal. We have cross out. Okay, I don't like this play. But we are going to clear his monster with Butcher. So it did cause him to draw some additional cards. However, we have established the board presence, so we're good. Okay, Robin Zombie. So we don't need to watch out for Torrential, he only has one copy. There is Trap Hole, but oh well. Good to get that out of the way rather than when I'm trying to summon something important. Now we just need to wait till we draw some more monsters and establish a board. There's the second copy of Robin Zombie. Not going to cross out that monster just yet because we have the Butcher. Or maybe we're going to do that just for when we have game, but we don't want to draw too many more cards. Otherwise that will give him access to a lot of answers to the plays we are doing. We essentially don't want him to draw any monsters, and every turn it seems to be a 50-50 whether he does or not. Okay, this is looking really good. We should be able to win next turn, because we can just cross out whatever he plays. And he can't tribute summon, so the only thing he could do is revive a monster. Never mind, he doesn't even do anything. So yeah, this is what I'm meaning, like, you know, this duel was absurdly quick. Even for a chance duel, this was quick. Okay, 17 wins. 3 more to go before the event. So now we sleep. Gonna save the game just to be safe. Not there. Not there. Not there. Okay, no Chaz spawn in the morning. Okay, nice. Got the good RNG, we're going first. So we have an Extermination, we have Lustrous Dragon, we have Pendant, I think we have Spear Dragon. This is overall a really good hand. I'm not going to play one of the strong monsters because there's a chance he has Snatch Steal, and we don't want to play Snatch Steal. Graceful Charity is a really good draw card for him. It allows him to draw 3 cards and discard 2, so it allows him to keep what's important to him. However, because it's an AI, its idea of what's important to it is fairly limited. There's not much I can really comment on this. He's got a lot of cards in hand, there's a lot of things he could do. He doesn't seem to be doing anything though, which makes me think he's got a lot of monsters. We're going to summon Birdface. The only reason Birdface is in this deck is that when it's destroyed, it allows us to add a Harpy card from our deck to our hand, and we just so happen to have a card called Cyber Harpy Lady. So when we designed this deck, you can have any number of cards in your deck from 40 to 60. And the idea being that we're actually building a deck with as few cards as possible, so 40. The purpose for that is the less cards you have in your deck, the higher chance you have of drawing the card you want at any point. So by doing anything which allows us to take cards out of our deck, or draw cards early, that just increases the odds of us drawing what we want at any point in the game. We don't have any cross-out, do we? Just have Extermination. Okay. Attack with Birdface just to see if we can sneak in as much damage as we can. That is a shame. Some damage because that. We should be good. We have a lot of spell cards in hand. This is a bit concerning. We have a lot of removal, but not too much for face down cards. And Copycat does not help our endeavors. And Penguin Soldier also does not help. So we didn't summon a monster this turn, which is really good, which means we can go and summon Red Snake back. So we actually are going to need to discard a card from our hand if we have too many cards in our hand. However, we have enough cards to be able to just play like that. I also didn't realize we had a Black Pendant. We could have played that earlier for a bit more damage. Never mind, he would have Heavy Stormed anyway. Okay, that's good. He doesn't seem to have any Spell or Trap cards. So at this point, we should just be able to win next turn no matter what. He seems to be out the flip cards that are relevant. Okay, cool. Yep, that's game there. Okay, 18 wins in. 2 more. 2 more and then the event. Okay, come on, Chaz. No Chaz. Okay, gonna save here just to be safe. I think we have one more weekend to go find Chaz 2 times. So... yeah, the next thing is the dorm switch exam. So we need to encounter Chaz twice in 6 things. So, well, we need to beat Chaz twice in 6 things. So where is he? Please tell me he'll spawn. No spawn? Okay. 5 attempts? There he is, okay. First, okay. What's our hand look like? Smashing Grounds. Okay, not many spells. We have a fire monster though, and we have Inferno. Sets us up for some good early game momentum. Okay, that is all right. So just evaluating our plays here. Okay, think West plan. So we're just gonna summon Inferno in fact, no, we're gonna summon Copycat. Trade these monsters in. Go with the original plan. Anyway, how's our time looking? Are we getting close to 1 hour 30, I assume? 127. Okay, we're going to be a bit over. But shouldn't be that far over. How are we? Oh, wait, that's fine. Okay, good. Yeah, assuming these duels go well, we should be fine. Yeah, we got some rather bad RNG in these fights. Oh, Snatch Shield, that's also not good. Come on. That's 1,700. Okay, that is good. We're gonna just play 7-colored fish. It's 1,800. I'm not gonna clear the monster, it's just gonna destroy us. So leave that alive. Okay, good. He tributed that monster in his own terms. All we have is copy Trinade. We're getting the best spawns I've ever seen, but the worst duels I've ever seen as well. That's marathon luck for you. Extermination, that doesn't help. extermination. I don't think there's any card which can really save us here. We're going to start this match. Just hope to encounter him again. Yeah, that card does not help us. Dear. How many duels were we at? 18, yeah. Just need 2 spawns. Oh no! Lost an opportunity there. Okay, come on, good Sunday spawns, please, good Sunday spawns. Crap, he's not there, and we have 2 more opportunities, so if I... That's not a room I can even do this in. Come on. Nope. Okay, good, we got one. He's got to spawn in the evening. He's got to spawn in the evening, otherwise I need to do 2 fights. I need to win both these. Bless RNG, lads. Bless RNG. Okay, we can exterminate and cross out that. Oh, never mind, we can just cross out that. Do we need to exterminate that card? Okay, good, that was my eater bug. That's very good to remove. No summon? Okay, 1 summon is set. We can exterminate that. Magic Jammer, that's good. He discards. That's alright. Okay, we win next turn, so that's what I'm talking about. Like, some fights can be absurdly quick. We just got some rather bad draws at the start. Hopefully we get a spawn this evening. If we don't get a spawn this evening, this will be concerning at best. In fact, I could probably save and maybe reset the console, but I'm not sure if that'll work. Okay, come on, good spawns. Less RNG, lads. Come on, please. Please spawn. He didn't spawn. Oh, crap. What time are we at? 1:33. Okay. So we kind of need to lose that last shield we did. Because that's the last opportunity we have to find Chaz.
In these stressful times, do we have time to talk about our charity?
Please, go ahead.
Yes, we are supporting Young Minds, a charity leading the fight for a future where all young minds are supported and empowered, whatever the challenges. Your donations help them to make sure young people get the best possible mental health support and have the resilience to overcome life's difficulties.
Okay, good chest spawn. Come on. Yeah, if we spend a bit too long on these jewels, we'll just maybe call it and mercy kill this one. But if we get some good jewels, we can still finish in a somewhat reasonable time, I guess. It's been a while since I've seen a run go this long. That's a lot of trap cards. Hopefully some of them are Robins on me. Okay, only one. No torrential. No torrential, good. Penguin Soldier. Main phase 2, we're going to set a pendant. Yeah, let me know if we get to like 140 and I'll just, well, say, like, I'll evaluate it there. Okay, luckily he destroyed almost all of his own cards. I think he's seeing the situation we're in. He's just trying to help us win at this point. Okay, that's all he did that turn. Okay, good. Okay, duel in the morning, duel in the afternoon. This is good. Pull. Okay, good. Got rid of that. I'll also get some momentum on board. Okay, this is a good set of circumstances. We can copycat the Giga. We can Smashing Grounds to destroy Giga. And we can attack. The game's giving us a really good set of circumstances right now. If we got this from the start, this would be really good. Okay, one sec. Oh, nice, we have crossout. I think that's game. Oh, 50 points off. Close. Okay, that's 20 wins. So we'll do the final duel against Chaz. If we lose, I'll not go so far over. I'll not bother restarting that. If we lose, if we lose, we'll call it. If we win, we've won. So yeah, 20 wins. Okay, save. Yeah, so this is the last match. We win this, we get to go to Obelisk Blue. So if we sleep, cutscene. This is relevant to what we're actually doing, but there's a cutscene. Okay. Wednesday. Come on. There we go. Okay. So yeah. So basically, she's like. Oh, sorry. He's like. I always got really confused because the voice was really ambiguous as a kid. But do we just lost connection? Okay. Shall I just keep going so we're not super far behind schedule, or? Okay. I'll just get into the game and then. So we can evaluate. This is starting to look like an okay starting hand. Oh, this RNG has been so bad. I've never had dual RNG. This is like I've never had that so bad that I've ever had to like reset during a run. Well, so far 100% success rate on every single run. So, are we back? Okay, I'll just get going. Let's reboot your summon. Okay, he used all of his spell cards in one turn. That's fantastic for us. Which means he's basically out of resources. We are indeed back. Okay, so we seem to have a decent hand for this fight. We'll see where this goes. I don't want to summon the Illustrious Dragon just yet. It's our strongest monster. Okay, that's kind of why. So there's the Torrential out of the way. So now he has almost no cards. We have our Illustrious Dragon and a bunch of removal. We're in a really good set of circumstances right now. We also have Spirit of Flames. That is really nice. That's an additional summon this turn. 41. Okay, yeah, this match is just about over. Hopefully none of this is Mirror Force. Good, none of this is Mirror Force. Okay. We have cross out in case he plays a monster. If we draw a monster and all he does is set a monster with one. Okay, if we just draw a monster with... Okay, almost. Less RNG, lads. If we draw a monster, never mind. That's also reduced his chances of winning full stop, so that's good. One more turn, come on, we can do this. We can do this. Come on. Just don't play a card. If he sets a monster with one, never mind, he can just not do anything. Time's going to be coming up in a few seconds. Basically, there's going to be a pop-up on screen saying you've achieved Obelisk Blue. I'll just say time when that happens. Okay. Time. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the RNG fest that has been Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Duel Academy. So now Chaz, he's just such a bad loser. He's literally left the island and you can't fight him anymore. And now we have this really comfy room in the Obelisk Blue. We have that big CRT, and that's exactly what us folks want, isn't it? Just big CRTs in a really comfy room. So we've achieved our goal. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and stick around for some CMR coming up.
All right. Thank you very much, CDRomatron, for your incredible run of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Academy. GX Duel Academy, sorry. Up next, we have two Colin McRae 2.0 runs from the BPG 13 in two different categories, one in challenge percent and one in arcade percent. As we do that, I would like, of course, to advertise some of our donation incentives that we still have going on. Until we call it at the start of the Colin McRae rally runs, we have the car choice incentive. Currently in the lead is the Toyota Corolla with €3, followed by the Subaru Impreza with 2.69. It's very close, and it's anybody's game even now. Any €1 donation can do it, so donate now if you want to see your favorite car being driven.
Not the title of anything but the title, please.
Further down the line, we have the London Racer 2 car choice incentive, which involves Arthur the sports sedan, Brian the sedan, Jill the Mini Cooper, Macroley the 4x4, Ranjit the sports car, and Richie the London cab, which is also in the lead with €2.50, followed by Ranjit the sports car with 2. Again, any donation can give you a winner, so donate now if you want to see your choice in UKSG. And coming on further down in the evening is the Amnesia ending incentive, where we have a donation war on whether.
Is that incentive? Do we remove that?
Yes, we're doing it. People are confused as to whether we're doing it. Yes, we are. It's between the good and the bad ending of the game, so we're gonna be seeing that at the very end. So donate now to see all of your choices be in the marathon. Now,
is live.
We have another €1 donation from Anonymous, which, from what I can tell, has put the Subaru Impreza in the lead by 69 cents. Nice. Thank you for the donation, and stay tuned stay tuned. Again, if you want your favorite car to be played here at CMR 2.0, feel free to donate. The donation incentive is still open, but not for long, so this is your last chance. Get your donations in before we close it down. Thank you very much.